way from the time he goes over the first jump to the time he finishes. So how does he pick out when it's supposed to pay attention and when he doesn't?
So like in your case, or even, when you were doing early training, your voice would change just like it did here?
Always.
What, on the course?
Always.
Oh,
Always,
okay.
always, always. In fact, let me...
honestly, I'm always like just trying to keep...
No, you can't, because the reason why is this, is that if you keep the energy up, number one, he learns to ignore the energy, because half the time he needs to back it off.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
If I don't know, then I get worried. If I get worried, I start slowing stuff down, because I have no clue where I'm supposed to go or where I'm not supposed to go. Then it makes me uncomfortable, then I will always slow things down, because I cannot guarantee that this is the time you really didn't want me to go, or did you want me to pay attention, whatever.
Yeah.
So, the whole point is that all the dogs, I don't care what dog it is, whether it's the Spaniel or the Border Collie, they all respond the same way. People say, oh, you got to train them differently. Yeah, you might, because she might like toys, he might not like toys. She might like food, or he doesn't like food, or whatever.
Right.
Sight hounds train differently than Border Collies. Jacks train differently. Terriers train differently than Golden Retrievers. But it does not mean that some of the basic skills of the way they pay attention to the world are not the same.
Sure.
Sight hounds are, yes, they are more visual. That's what they call sight hounds.
Right.
But it does not mean that they do not listen for things. Okay. Border Collies are more sight-oriented, because that's what they're supposed to do. But it does not mean that they don't listen to stuff. Terriers have a tendency to listen more. They're not as visual, at least initially, but it does not mean they can't see things.
Yeah.
Right? So, the bottom line is you cannot just say because at the border we train it differently. No, what you're training is the way they view the world is they still pick up vision, and they pick up what they hear, and in the dog's case, what they smell, right? Okay. So we know we can't use smell because we can't track a thing on the utility course. So we can only things to the left. We have their vision, what they see around the world, and what they hear, right? We cannot ignore that. People are going to tell you, well, and there's posters up and all this kind of garbage about, well, vision's the primary way dogs run through. No, not true. If you watch an animal track, it will track by vision, but it will localize first by how it hears things. I mean, if you guys live in a place where it's got woods or if they hear something first, they hear first, and then they look around to find it. They're using both senses at the same time. They don't isolate. Oh well, I'm supposed to go by this is my primary. Forget the hearing. No, they use both.
Yeah.
So my job is to use both. I do not use one only ever.
Yeah.
So whether I run, slow down, turn left, turn right, use my arms, look at the dog, look at the obstacle, I still use the verbal cues as well. Everything always being told something, even if you can't really hear it. Okay, so when I was walking back from putting the cookie down, how easy was it for you guys to hear what I was saying?
It was actually lighter than this.
Yeah.
It was just it was personal. It was like the two of you were having a conversation.
Was it as easy to hear as when I wanted him to get going?
Oh, when you had him going, you were.
Yeah, everybody in the entire friggin' room could hear it.
That was like trial.
But that's exactly how we control it, because again, it is. Everybody always assumes that it's motion that does it. No, it's only partly true. They always assume that it's your body cue that does it. No, it's only partly true. Everybody always assumes that we tell them what to do. It's only partly true. The dogs do not isolate skills or actually isolate cues. They put them all together.
Yeah.
We can't tell them to learn to ignore things, but they still pick it up regardless. Even a puppy at 8 weeks of age will do that. That means that as a puppy at 8 weeks of age, I'm doing the same thing without obstacles. Like the cookie there. If I want the puppy to go, I am not being real quiet. Go, buddy, move. Yeah, take off. Yeah. I want the puppy to pay attention. Hey, come on, buddy. Come on, Papa. Yeah, good job, buddy. Yeah. It's softer.
Yeah.
That's because that's what they respond to. That's a little bit more natural for them to learn to do than the other stuff. So,
well, is it fair to say that your soft voice is you're really getting them to listen to you, as opposed to your exciting voice is I want you to
you're out of here.
Go.
Yeah,
just,
you're out of here.
Do what you know how to do or what
Get
you're
away
expected.
from me. I don't like it. Nasty
Right.
border collie, go away, whatever. Get
Yeah.
off and go. Find a weed, find this, do whatever. And the whole point is that that is exactly how we do it physically.
Yeah.
That's why people tell you to run faster or accelerate or decelerate. But you can't just do that alone, because that means that if they have to pay attention to a visual cue, if you do get behind on your rear cross. I don't know what you just did. So what am I going to have to do?
Yeah.
I'll have to turn and find where the heck you are. That
Right.
means I no longer can do a rear cross. I'm slowing down to try to find where you're at.
Right.
So, verbal cues are as important, if more so, than visual cues, because visual cues are only limited to what the dog can see.
Yeah.
A verbal cue is good regardless whether you're in front, off to the side, or behind. That's what we use it all the time, because when you do start getting behind the dog, because he's starting to drive ahead.
Right.
How do you still steer him to go to the left or to the right or whatever, right? Okay. Well, you can't obviously turn your shoulders because you're directly behind him. He's not going to see anything.
Right.
So how do you tell him to start paying attention to details?
Yeah.
Exactly what I did with him when I went to walk away. It's, man, ready, come on, let's go. Man, come on, go. Come on, let's go. Yeah, good job, buddy. So I'm talking to him and making him pay attention to me. If I talk softer, he starts tracking details. Look at what he's looking at when I talk to him that way.
Right. Just look at you.
Correct. When I talk to him in a more excited voice, you see what he wanted to do. I don't need your ass. I'm
Yeah.
taking off and going
Just have
somewhere.
fun.
I'm going to go grab something because you said you're pointing in that direction. I'm taking off. So any course that we have is just a reflection of those two issues. Period.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whether it's an easy course like novice where everything's straight line, or a complex course like Master's Challenge Standard. The only difference is how frequently we have to change that
directions,
focus.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So now,
Well, let me ask you
Yeah, go ahead.
a question. You know, like I say, being a member here, I can come down at times and have privacy, and I can break this down.
Yep,
set up
absolutely,
the way I want. How would I take what we're talking about here right now and put that into, probably not even a whole course, just a sequence of things and work on skills and work on
okay,
that?
so think about this now. Let's say, all right, here's your sequence. Take the opening sequence, but instead of going from that blue jump to the tunnel, I want you to go from the straight tunnel, go to the yellow tunnel, and then go over the jump to the blue tunnel. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, start.
So, but where want we start? Want to start with the
Yeah,
yellow?
start, yeah, same thing.
So
Jump,
1, 2, 3,
tunnel.
drilling 1, 2, 3, tunnel.
Tunnel, jump, tunnel.
Yep.
Okay, so run that first. Now,
Okay.
think before you run.
Got it.
All right, we know we got to do something because it's not, and I don't care if you lead off or do whatever, but
Yeah.
what kind of energy should he be doing most of that sequence in?
That's pretty much straight out.
Yeah, it's pretty much throttle open,
Yeah.
crank it open, and get
Right.
going. There's no
Go.
such thing as
Right.
Okay, so now that's the way the energy should reflect. So that means that as we're doing this, the energy should not drop at all. So if that was Aries running, it would be Aries. Ready? Go tunnel, move, buddy. Yeah, out tunnel, yellow. Come on, buddy, go tunnel.
Right.
And you notice that I never ever said jump because, again, the jumps are implied.
Right.
Here's
Yeah.
the other reason why. Okay, go touch that yellow jump. Go touch the purple jump. Go touch the straight tunnel. Okay, what are you doing every single time I tell you an obstacle?
You're
I'm doing, yeah, but what are you doing after that?
looking around to see what's next.
Yeah, exactly. Now, suppose I did this to you. Come over here, buddy. Ken, come here for a second. Hold on. Okay, I want you to touch the yellow jump, the blue jump, and then touch the wheels. What are you not doing?
I don't know.
Do it. Go ahead, do the whole thing. Yeah, touch them all.
Not looking at the tunnel?
No, keep on. What was he not doing?
I don't know, looking around for what's
Yeah.
next.
Where was he focusing on the whole time?
The next thing,
Was the sequence I
Yeah.
told him, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So he's not.
Oh, I see what because before you didn't tell me what the next one was.
right.
I got
So
you.
he had to go. So because you could tell he
I
was
would
getting
do this,
pissed.
look back at you like, what's
Yeah,
next?
what's next? Okay, and then after a while they get pissed. He gets pissed. He goes, oh, shit, if you would have told me to go yellow
why
jump,
don't you
blue
just tell
jump,
me-
why just tell me the whole thing? I would have touched them all, right?
Right.
Gotcha.
And that's the thing that we do when we point out every obstacle. He's got to
He's waiting.
decide. Jump. Okay, I know I got to do that. Are we You're going and jump. Oh, okay, got it. Tuck. Oh, yeah, okay. As opposed to if he understood how to go all the way, even if it was like 8 jumps right to a tuck.
Right.
Well, I don't ever say over. I say, sure, 8 jumps. Hey, go on all the way up to the tunnel. Whatever. He would go all the way over all 8 jumps to the tunnel, and he would leave you so far behind, you'd probably get the 4th jump by the time he was going on the other end. And that's because we've given him the mission. Here's the lineup. You see all this stuff all the way up the tunnel. Like I told you to go ahead and do each obstacle. I see anything all through all the way to Wiggles, right?
Yep.
Never look back.
Yeah, just went right to it.
And how much faster did you go?
Sure.
Exactly, because you don't have to think about checking that. You don't have to worry about whether this clown's coming or not. I'm just going.
Right.
So that's the other part of it, is that I don't point out run or jumps. If they're in the way, they're implied.
Yeah.
So you go tunnel. Hey, out tunnel, buddy. Come out here. Good. One. Go on tunnel. I don't wait. So he has to start working. Calm down. That's the tunnel. Yeah, I got it. So now instead of just doing a single obstacle, he's doing a whole, in this case a couple, but it would be a whole series of what's going on. Go. Yeah, and the sooner we tell him, the more likely it is he's going to start looking down line.
Right.
So try that.
Okay. Go ahead.